All right, and we back. We're going to talk a little bit about college basketball. This one's going to be interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the teams that I think you guys need to watch at least once before the NCAA tournament. And no, I'm not going to talk about any team that's in a power conference. I'm only going to talk about the smaller schools. So again, I watch a lot of college basketball. I've had a lot of chance to watch college basketball, but even some of these teams I've only seen a couple times, and some of them I haven't seen once. So it's teams that I still have to go watch. And I'm saying not seen in terms of like watch the full game, but I've seen clips and I've seen highlights and I've seen tape. But obviously the tournament starts in a couple weeks. It's crazy that the tournament is going to be like over in like a month. Not exactly a month, but it's crazy that we're almost there. Again, nobody from the ACC, Big 12, nobody from the Big East, Big 10, SEC, not going to be from the American, the A10, the Mountain West, or the West Coast conferences. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do here. There's going to be teams that are fun to watch and teams that have a chance to really make a run. Number one, Arkansas State. This is a team I've seen twice. I watched them play Alabama early in the season, then I watched them play Memphis in a game they won at Memphis. That shocked the hell out of me. When you're looking for teams that have a chance to make a run in the tournament, you need teams that can prove they can hang with the big dogs. They beat Memphis in Memphis, and they hung with Alabama, ended up losing by 9. But there was a tie game with about 7 minutes left. So, and again, that was at Alabama. So this is a team that can really play. And again, this is a team that have 7 losses, so very Jekyll and Hyde if you're going to lose to 7 teams and you're in the Sun Belt. But listen, the Sun Belt champ has had a chance to win games in the tournament before. We've seen it happen. And at the end of the day, I think this is an Arkansas State team that has a chance to be dangerous if they get a good matchup for them. All right, next up is Drake from the Missouri Valley Conference. Drake, this is a team we've seen in the tournament 3 of the last 4 years. They were a 10 seed last year, 12 seed the year before, and an 11 seed in 21, and they were an at-large team that year. They haven't really had a chance to make a deep run outside of the clipping of Wichita State in the first 4 game, but they might be better than ever. They have a new coach, a revamped roster. They did lose to Bradley a couple weeks ago, I don't know exactly when it was, but they're 23-3 at the time I'm recording this, and they've beaten Vanderbilt and Kansas State. It went and took a look at their schedule because they were almost ranked in the AP poll at certain points during the season. They just suffered untimely losses or timely losses to screw them over. This is a team, if you're looking for a fast-paced running on offense, this isn't it. We've seen teams that do that, get out and go win tournament games because their pacing is just incredible, but this is a slow team. They're the slowest pace in the entire country. They run the offense. They milk the clock out. Very iridescent, very reminiscent, brain fog, of Tony Bennett's teams at Virginia. And they do it super effectively. Bennett, Sturtz, and Mitch Muscari play almost every minute of every game. They're in there for I think 39 minutes apiece, ranking first and second in the country in percentage of minutes played. I mean, it's unreal. And when they're both playing well, Drake is an unstoppable snail. Next team I want to talk about in the WAC is Grand Canyon. I mean, listen, they brought 5 of the team's 6 leading scorers back, including Tyon Grant Foster and Ray Harrison. At the end of the day, I expected this team to be significantly better than they are. And that's not to say they're not a good team, because they are a good team. I wouldn't be talking about them otherwise. But that really hasn't been the case, right? That we expect them to dominate the WAC one-handedly, potentially being in the mix for an at-large bid. Even Jacoby Coles, averaging 14-6 this season, is not enough for this team. They're barely top 100 on KenPom. And they're 1 game behind 10-1 Utah Valley, so they're not even in the lead for the WAC. But this is a good team, right? They play with tempo and physicality. They beat Stanford on a neutral floor. They almost beat Arizona State on a neutral floor without a starter. And they played Georgia really tough on the road. They just haven't been as efficient or consistent on offense, despite having a really good 8-man rotation, right? In their 6 losses, Tyon Grant Foster 4 for 29 from 3 with 26 turnovers in 6 games. That's unreal, right? And he's the biggest reason they struggled in those games. But we also know that the star, him, who had 51 points in their 2-game tournament run last year, can be a difference maker in a good way. So obviously Tyon Grant Foster, they're going to come and go as he goes. But I think he's a stud, and I think he has a chance to really get them to the second weekend this year. Next up, you got to watch out for the High Point Panthers. Playing in the Big South, this is a team that, again, another team that I have not seen anything of outside of clips and doing my research for this video. They've been a program for 25 years, right? Alan Huss has been the head coach the entire time, 25 years at the D1 level. They're 23-5, ranked in the top 100. They're hoping to get the auto bid, but they're right on the edge of the AP top 25 on the outside of it. They don't win games with their defense. They score the basketball. They're prolific on offense, top 75 in the nation in effective field goal percentage, turnover rate, offensive rebound percentage, and free throw rate. They're the only team in the country top 75 of all those, and they're also top 50 in 3-point percentage, 2-point percentage, and free throw percentage. Now, again, it hasn't come against a world beater of teams, right? They've only played one KenPom top 100 team all season, but they beat North Texas, right? A game between 2 Kansas guards, former Kansas guards, Latrell Jostle and Pettiford. Fun fact. But the High Point Panthers are the only team to put up more than 75 points against that North Texas Mean Green. So that offense might just put on a show against the number 3 or 4 seed, right? I don't know if they'll be, I don't think High Point will get to a 10 seed. High Point only has 2 games left in its regular season at the recording of this. And then the Big Ten, or the Big South Championship, noon Eastern on March 9th. If you haven't seen them yet, you're really running out of chances. This is a team that I think legit has a chance to get to the second weekend. Next up, I want to take it to Conference USA and talk about the Liberty Flames, right? At the beginning of the year, January 1st, they were 12-1. They had a decent chance for an at-large consideration. They had neutral site victories over Kansas State, McNeese, and their only loss was against Florida Atlantic on a neutral site. So it's 12-1. You again, some good wins there. Unfortunately, they proceeded to go 5-4 in their first 9 games of Conference USA play. They fall completely out of the race. So now they're, you have to win the Conference USA. But this is a solid defense. They're one of the best teams in the country. And they have a coach that did pull off an upset in the first round of the dance in 2019. So they've been there. They know what to do. When Liberty can hold the opposing team to 70 points or less, below 70 points, they're perfect. They're 20-0. Problem is they got to hold them there, right? But they're 18-1 when shooting at least 30% from three-point range, which usually isn't a big ask for them because they like to bomb threes. And of the 17 leaders in three-point attempts, 6 of them shoot north of 38%, and they've made at least 8 triples in all but 3 games as of this recording. What's weird about this team is their leader in assists is a 6'7" point forward in Zach Cleveland who doesn't shoot threes. The one guy on the team that doesn't. He's awesome at getting to the rack, finding his teammates off the drive, or really playing in the post or like finding someone out of the post. It's incredible to see this team. Very unique team. Very reminiscent of that Loyola Chicago team from 2017. He averages 5 dimes. Colin Porter averages 4 points. I mean, listen, that's almost 9 assists, and they're really good at bleeding the shot clock and getting a quality shot at the end of the clock. All right, next we're going to take it out west and talk about the UC Irvine Anteaters. This is a team, again, another team that I have not seen, but I did a lot of research on them. The teams that were the smaller leagues, the other 21 leagues, UC Irvine has an unreal defense, right? No one from that, like the other 21 leagues, finished in top 30 in adjusted defense last season. And you have to go back to 2015-2016 Valparaiso, which won the NC championship, which made the NC championship, to find the last one in the top 15. UC Irvine is number 11 in defensive rating on KenPom, almost impenetrable, whether they're starting or backup centers in Bent Lucan or Kyle Evans are at the 5. They also rarely commit fouls. They have made 100 more free throws this season than their opponents have even attempted, which is unreal. Things happen, right? UC San Diego shot 16 for 30 from 3, right? That's not gonna. That's crazy. Weber State 13 of 25. I'm looking at it here. Duquesne 14 from 25. Like what happens when it happens, you're fucked. But teams usually struggle to score 70 points against the Anteaters. There's a team, they won 51-39. You understand how hard that is? They don't shoot the ball very well. They're very focused on defense, even though they do play at an above average pace. They rank out the top 200 in adjusted offensive efficiency, but they can shoot free throws, right? They shoot as a team better than 80%. That can be a game changer, and it's tough. When you can make free throws, you are a dangerous team in March Madness. And finally, I want to talk about 2 teams from the Summit League. Got to group them together. North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Now, North Dakota State is not a team I had seen play. Did a lot of research for them for this video. But South Dakota State is a team I have seen play once. I watched them play at Alabama. A game Alabama obviously won. But South Dakota State, both of these teams look really good. And obviously, it's really possible that neither of these teams make the tournament. But these, according to KenPom, are the 2 best teams in the Summit League, right? By an extremely wide margin. South Dakota State's just outside the top 100. North Dakota State 134th as they're recording this. The only other team that's in the top 200 is St. Thomas, which will not be eligible to dance until next season as they're coming up to the Division I level. There is a chance that you see either one of those teams as the 13 seed hanging out, taking on like an Arizona or a Kansas, which is brutal, right? South Dakota State, led by Oscar Clough, he's one of the most unstoppable forces in the country. 17 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists a game. The Jackrabbits had no answer when they played Alabama. Obviously, Alabama scored 105 points, but Clough went for 21-15 in that game in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. One of his 18 double-doubles on the season. He could take over a tournament game, especially if they take on a team with a weak front court. But North Dakota State is seemingly more problematic for a tournament run, right? They lead the nation in effective field goal percentage, and they take more than 55% of their shots from three-point range, averaging 12 makes on 30 attempts. Listen, they play at a slow pace, which makes those 3 points even more valuable in games with limited possessions. And if they're hitting, it could feel like rain. Obviously, this team's terrible on defense, but that didn't stop Will Roberts from reaching the Sweet 16 a couple of years ago. North Dakota State, they won at Santa Clara and at Butler earlier this season, and they beat Utah Valley, a team that is going to win the WAC more likely than not, by 20, shooting 42 from 89 from downtown in those 3 games. If they get in and they're hot, watch out. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to talk about some teams I think you guys need to watch, and I guess some teams that I need to continue to watch and try to find some time to watch at least one of their games. I've seen a couple, but It's tough to find games, especially when the SEC is great, the Big 12 looks good. You know, it's tough to find time for smaller teams, but gotta do it. If you like this video, comment down below. Make sure to comment down below anything else you want to see me do. Make sure to like and subscribe. And YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video. Find out if they're right.